Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to survive a bear attack. So the first step is to get down really low. You're going to want to swing your... Hello? I think you have... This is my study, this is my house. I don't know who you are. I don't know who he is.
What is your name?
I'm not going to tell you that. Get out of my house.
Buddy, I don't think you understand. You're a beta. You're worthless. You're nobody.
You barge into my house, call me
zero
worthless.
money. You're a YouTuber in New York.
YouTubers can have an honorable career.
Look at your studio.
I'm the next Mr. Beast.
You're stuck in the Matrix.
Well,
you're in the Matrix, man.
You're in my house, so get out of here. I don't care what pills you take. Just leave.
That's the exact problem with you. You're so stubborn. You have no idea of thought, no individuality.
You sound like my mother.
That doesn't matter. I'll be your mother. But any other ways, you have to become from a beta to a sigma alpha male. Now, one of those things is to start a podcast. Now, I have an idea. What if we start one right here in this little studio? Humble studio.
Well, first of all, you're in my house. I would kindly ask you to leave. And second of all, what would you make the podcast about? Can we make about M. Night Shyamalan? I watched one of his movies, and I like his colors. I like blue, I like red, I like purple, I like orange, I like yellow, I like red, I like blue, I like red, I like blue.
Let's start where the Matrix started. Now, I want you to sit right there.
You're asking me to sit in my own house.
I want you to sit over there, and then I'll sit over there. And then we're going to talk about a little short story. Harrison Bergeron.
Can you promise to leave after?
I'm not promising that. But what I am promising is to make you a better person. Now come on, let's do this.
Alright.
Oh, crap.
LeBron James, or Terry was forgot. So Harrison, the first person.
About Harrison Bergeron.
I remember reading it when I was a freshman in Mahler's class.
Who is Mahler?
He was my English teacher in my freshman year.
Okay. Now, did you know that there's a lot of symbolism? There's a lot of layers onto it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so confusing when I was in this class. I didn't know half of it.
It's like an onion. There's layers and layers on top of it.
Like an ogre, yeah.
So...
a cake even.
Kurt Vonnegut, or whatever the dude's name was, he uses symbolism to show how the government can censor every single one of your thoughts and take your freedoms and individuality away.
Well, where does it say that?
Look, they take away your freedom. You can't think. They censor the TVs. When Harrison's dad, or when Hazel was watching the news and Harrison was killed, Hazel saw that the TV burned out and that it was no longer running.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that the government must have shut it down by recording.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They also take away everyone's individuality by putting pretty much masks on top of people who look too attractive. Let's say you.
I would wear an ugly mask for sure.
No, you're handsome, very handsome.
Mm.
You'd have to wear a mask on top of you.
Mm.
It means all the pretty girls that you see, masks on top of them.
So then, okay.
So any other ways. This is a real life parallel to North Korea.
Really?
North Korea only allows a certain type amount of hairstyles,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, women have, I think, a little bit more than men, which means that they take away your individuality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also North Korea. You can't really talk about it. You get censored. There's not a lot of journalists that can go in there.
Heavy censorship. Heavy censorship.
Even they've created their own internet.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard
it has only a couple of websites, and even that's just controlled by the Korean government.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. What's your take on it?
In Harrison Bergen, is that what it's called?
Bergeron.
Okay. We'll keep that in. In Harrison Bergeron, I think the author uses symbolism and irony to expose how governmental censorship can be used to have total control over a society, kind of like what you said. So what I'm taking from is that the government uses censorship by censoring the very thoughts citizens have, the symbolism This is symbolized through the audio handicap George has to wear, where it says like something like every 20 seconds, like a loud noise plays. It's like every 20 seconds a loud noise plays, which kind of totally scrambles and erases his thoughts. They see no critiques, the citizens see no critiques in the system, but rather honor the handicap general, just like in some societies where they honor and worship the very leader that blinds them from the truth, like what you said about like North Korea and Kim Jong-un.
So what you're getting away from this is that they are not really suppressing. They're suppressing ideas, but they're not really suppressing media. They're mainly just suppressing the thought of having an idea, the thought of being an individual, the thought of being independent, the thought of being a person, the thought of being a human.
But like that can also be spurred from like something you see on the media. So by blocking the media, they block people's individual thoughts on the government.
Yes, but here's the thing. There's a difference between the media and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to think about it. You can choose to believe in it. You can choose to believe in me. You can choose to believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
And by buying my course for $9.99, you can follow me on Discord and on Patreon to make sure that you are the real Sigma Alpha male. Now, back onto the video. What we are trying to achieve here is to think for yourself. And what the government is doing is to make sure you can't even think at all. And that is brilliant. I mean, really. They don't block ideas. They don't censor it on the internet. They take off the roots where it starts, your brain. And censorship nowadays, it's mainly just blocking on the internet, blocking it on the TV.
Yeah, kind of like what North Korea is doing by like for example, like their media, like their journalism. BBC, I once heard a BBC journalist say that they have like very strict journalist requirements that they must honor their leader Kim Jong-un and say like no critiques or nothing evil or bad or criticizing him in any way.
Yes, but that is mainly in journalism.
Mm-hmm.
So they're blocking the media. But for Harrison Bergeron, like I said, it's a lot more deeper. It thinks more on where thought begins.
Mm-hmm.
And just like a virus, just like a parasite feeding on you, takes it away with one swift move. That is exactly what the U.S. government did in Harrison Bergeron. And you. More on individuality. Individuality is perfect. It makes you see the real you. You might not be you. I might not be me. But the thing is, in most societies, you have to be different. In North Korea, you have to pretty much just be a slave to Kim Jong-un, a slave to his system. And from that, you don't really have a purpose. You don't really have an idea of who you are. There's like a thought of being you. But you're not really you. You're just someone masking as someone. And for Harrison Bergeron, you are stripped of everything that makes you. Some people know you as smart. Harrison Bergeron, you would just be the same person over and over again.
Because of the handicaps.
Exactly. Because of the government, they force the individuality. Because of the government, they suppress individuality, They suppress individuality. And because of that, the government, in turn, decides to make everyone equal. And here's the thing, more on that. The short story was made in the 1960s. What else happened in the 1960s was the Civil Rights Movement. During the Civil Rights Movement, the MLK wanted for black people and white people to be the same.
Equal.
To be equal. And because of that equality, I think that maybe, this is just going on a stretch here, Kurt Vonnegut said that and said, what if we put it to the extreme? What if, even though constitutionally, we are equal. But how about literally equal? So instead of all of us having the exact same rights, you are all the same person. I think that's probably what he wanted to do. Maybe make it a satire on the civil rights movement. But it's a stretch to say the least.
And also, might I add, that like if you try to remove your handicaps, I believe you'd be fined or sent to prison or both.
Yeah. What about that?
Like how when you try to express your own individuality, you'd be punished for it.
Exactly.
Or when trying to express your ideas, like the civil rights movement, you just be silenced.
Some things might be similar. Like for example, if you're gay or trans and you go to like Saudi Arabia, they're gonna kill you or stone you. It'd probably be like that, but it's a lot more of a religious movement than it's probably both religious and government. As well in North Korea, if you don't have the same haircut, you're probably gonna be thrown in jail. Or, get fined and stuff. So I think more on the individuality could probably be in Saudi Arabia or in other Arab countries or Muslim countries that don't allow you to be gay or trans. Why not?
I'm fine, thanks. I don't do drugs.
More for me then.
The story, going back to Harrison, the story uses irony to express how everybody's quote-unquote equal, because they are made equal through, I believe the 211th through 213th Amendments, which express that, everybody's finally equal. But, they made everybody equal, but there is still a clear divide in power between the government and the citizens. And this kind of reminds me of back then when African Americans still didn't have rights. When they tried to vote, they were either given a difficult test compared to a white person, and that test would evaluate if you can vote or not. Or the second one is if they had the second one was police brutality discouraging them from even voting in the first place. So although they were technically still equal, in the real sense, there was still a clear divide in power.
Mm-hmm. And how do you know that?
History?
No. How do you know this history behind this?
Oh, we were taught this back in middle school when I was a wee lad.
Do you think the school enforces censorship?
In a way.
Could you consider the school a government?
In a way.
So how are you different than anyone else? And what makes you you?
I guess just my interests and my hobbies and my personality.
Have you escaped the Matrix?
I beg your pardon?
Have you escaped the Matrix?
Well, that was just a fictional movie.
No. Matrix, Jerry? Nahara. It's real. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you can take 2 pills. The white pill, in which everything will stay the same, and the white pill, which everything and all the truth will be exposed. Now, if you want to have this choice, you'll have to do one thing. Subscribe to my Discord channel and my Patreon to get the full experience of you taking this white pill. And once you take it,
Thank you for exercising your right to public speech, even though it can be a little demonetizing. But I feel like we can both agree that Harrison is mainly about censorship and individuality, and also how the two can be intertwined.
So, are you saying that they censor individuality, or they censor thought and individuality? Because thoughts also make you individual.
Yeah.
How so?
I don't know, in a way, I guess even though I am an individual, that doesn't matter in the mass of people who are individuals. And in a way, the most important people in our life are people who run the government as they decide our safety.
Do they?
Yeah, they have the power to kill or not to kill. And as Paul Atreides once said, if you have power over something, you have control over it. Something like that.
Do you think that America's government will soon be like that?
I don't think nothing lasts forever.
The American government? Are you saying that you're plotting to destroy the American government? Is that what you're saying on camera right now?